Welcome to Groundwork Level 1. I'm Coach Julian, and in this video, we're going to go over some simple movements that are going to activate the back chain, decompress the spine, and begin building the foundations for strong and mobile hips. So if you're ready to get started with me, there's just a few things that we can need in our environment to make this the best that it can be. Number one is a soft ground surface. We're going to be doing work on our knees, shins, and ankles, so making this as comfortable as possible is really important. It could be a yoga mat, a carpet, or some cushions. The next important piece is some kind of elevated structure that we can put our hands on. This could be a chair, a stool, a couch, whatever you need. Last but not least, not necessarily required, but can be very useful to help encourage the glutes to turn on, is some kind of stretchy resistance band. So if you've gotten all your items, your environment that you need, we're just gonna start in the basic rockers position. I'm gonna get on all fours, have my hands right under my shoulders, my knees right under my hips. I can choose to have my toes tucked or flat along the ground. But one thing I want to bring attention to is we want to avoid having our toes pointing out like this. We don't want to be on the inside edge of the foot. If anything, we would like the toes to be pointing in towards one another a little bit. So we're going to start with rockers. We're going to start with 1 minute of rockers. Time starts now. So I'm creating a little bit of push to the outside, like I'm trying to rip this blanket apart with my knees. And I'm just bringing my hips back down a couple inches and coming up a couple inches. Our goal here is to fire up the glutes, the hamstrings, and it's not uncommon for us to feel this in the calves, the feet, or the lower back as well. And just notice the range of motion here. I'm just starting very small and I'm not taking my hips out of it. The whole time that we're working, I want those glutes to be active. I do not want them to be on and then off, on and then off. I want them to be on this whole time. And just starting with a really, really small range of motion. Awesome. That's our first minute up. Next, we're gonna move on to a single side. So I'm gonna start with my left side. And how I get there from this rocker position is I just take my hips and I start laterally shifting them out to the left until I start to feel some sensation on this outside of the hip. Now, once I find that, what I like to do is take my feet and my calves and twist them the opposite way a little bit. Once I've found that there, I'm just going to start rocking again. Now we're practicing moving our body weight using just one glute, just one side. Just tiny little movements, making sure we have this activation in here. I'm just starting by building the foundation. We just want pressure. That's our main goal right now, is make sure we can find pressure in this hip. Awesome. Now I'm gonna rock my hip back, hold it, make sure I'm holding onto that pressure. I'm gonna take the leg that I'm not loading onto, and I'm just going to bring it out and behind into a pigeon position. We're not going passive here, we are staying active. We're staying active in this loading hip. We're keeping the spine nice and long. We're making sure that we're organizing our body in a way where our breath is easeful. I just want to bring attention to something. If we're feeling like, wow, my quad is taking on a lot of this load and we want to bring it back to the glute, it's important that our back knee isn't too far away from our front knee. If we want to bring that pressure back into the glute, those knees need to come closer together, or we need to use an elevated surface. Awesome. Now we're just gonna go back into 1 minute of rockers. I'm gonna use this elevated surface here for this next minute. What using an elevated surface does is it helps us push that pressure into our hips, especially if we're feeling it on the front side. And it helps eliminate any possible pinching on the front of our hips. So it should raise up the intensity. It should help us get into these rockers a little bit easier. As always, being mindful of the entire body, making sure the spine's long. I'm looking up and forward. It's like we're doing just baby little squats here. Just tiny little squats. And that is time. Now we're gonna move over to the right side. So same thing, I'm just gonna take my hips and lateral shift to the right. I'm shifting towards the camera. I take my feet, I shift them out to the left a little bit from 6 o'clock to 7 o'clock. And then same thing, I just start to rock here. Really simple movement. Again, notice how small this range of motion is. Notice how small this range of motion is. We do have a lot of space to play. I can drop back down here, but it's only going to be productive for what we're trying to do if I can hold my body weight in my glute all the way down here. If it starts letting go and I'm moving into the quad, then we've moved out of our desired range of motion. We want to keep it in a range of motion where the glute is the main player, the main activator. I'm going to take my non-loading leg, my left leg, and reach it out and behind. Awesome. Now, if you're on the ground, feel free to have both hands down. If you'd like to try, taking our right hand to the right chest and opening it up a little bit and looking forward. Again, most of my pressure, most of my body weight is in this right glute, down in through my knee, shin, and foot on my right side. My knee is opening up to the right a little bit, so is this back knee, and so is my sternum. We're creating this synchronicity, opening up to the right side. 3, 2, and 1. Great work. We're going to go into round 2. That was round 1. Straight back into rockers. Simple dimple stuff. So here I am in my tabletop position and just rocking. Once again, imagining I have like a piece of paper under my knees, just trying to rip it apart ever so slightly until I feel my hips turn on. And just rocking back into it. Super simple, baby mode. Really, really simple stuff, but it burns and it's so real. It's so real. The foundation is often created with the simplest ingredients. And doing a bunch of rockers is so good. So good for the hips. So good for the spine. Awesome. Now I'm gonna shift my hips over to the left, single side rockers on the left side. I'm going back on my elevated surface because I like how it feels. Doesn't have to be more complicated than that. I just like it. Always tuning into my breath. Staying in control, making sure it's full and easeful. Keeping my spine nice and long. In 3 seconds, we're gonna go into our loaded pigeon. 2 and 1. Non-loading leg reaches behind, a little bit of internal rotation. and I can open up my chest to the left if that feels good. Trying to distribute this weight on my left side through my knee, shin, and foot. I feel all of this pressure in my glute. And time. Really nice. Run it back, 1 more minute of rockers. I say 1 more as if it's the last one. It's not. It's not, there's plenty more. We got lots. We got lots. We're just out here doing baby movements. Just going back to those baby times. It's fun, it's simple. If you go to the gym, hit a few of these, people think you're doing nothing. They think you're doing absolutely nothing, but they have no idea. They have no idea. They have no idea that this creates the foundation of real fluid athleticism. They don't know. They want to jump on the barbell and just like pow, 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 pow. But they won't do the simple stuff. We're doing the simple stuff because it works. Awesome. Shift my hips over to the right. Right side rockers. Boom. I'll give you the back view, the booty view. Right side rockers. Really simple. Really simple. A really good way to think of this while we're doing single side rockers is like, this is how it should feel when we step up onto the stairs or when we're walking on a hike and we're going up. This is how it should feel when we load up on that one leg and leave off of it. We want that pressure moving through the glute. Biggest muscle in the body. I'm gonna take my non-loading leg. See what I mean? Internal rotation. Drops in, toe pointing in, heel pointing away. Spine nice and long. Pulling this right hip back into the sky, feeling it lengthen along that hamstring, along that glute. And that's time, really good. Let's jump into round 3. Back into 1 minute of rockers, let's go. 1 minute of rockers. Just trying to get both those glutes online here. Seeing if we can get some deep breaths in here. I feel that spine get longer north and south. The top of our head to the bottom of our tailbone. Using that breath to inflate ourselves from the inside. Doing our best to keep the head up, the spine long. Not wanting the shoulders hunched up, but the shoulders nice and relaxed, back and down. Just playing around. We got lots of ranges of motion, lots of options. Awesome stuff. Take my hips, shift them to the left. Single side rockers. Left side. Left side. You can get really creative. You can push your hip way out, or you can bring it more in the direction of your heel. The most important thing is that you do what feels good and what feels best. We want to avoid any red light sensations. Those are sensations that our body signals to us and says, hey, if I keep pushing away out here, something bad's gonna happen. It's very different from a muscular burn sensation. I take my non-loading leg, internal rotation, let it rest behind. Big pressurization on this front leg. That muscular burn, that's a green light sensation. That's good. We want to go there. We want to stay there. We don't feel like we're going to injure ourselves or we're going to take it too far if we stay in that muscular burn. It's different if we're experiencing joint pain or nerve pain. We want to stay away from those. Big loaded pigeon here. Again, notice my knees are pretty close together. And release. Really nice. Boom. Last round of 1 minute of rockers. Last round, I'm gonna go feet flat because I've been doing toes tucked for a bit. Shake it up, go crazy. Boom, you can have your knees a little bit further apart. If that feels good, I kind of like them close together. Staying with the breath. Building up these big, juicy muscles on the backside of our body. The biggest muscles on our body. Hence why we should treat them as our suspension system. Our largest, most capable muscles. And they move us forward every single day. Every single day, step by step. Awesome stuff. Shift the hips over to the right side. Bow, bow. Right side rockers. Notice how I shift my hips to the right side? I bring my hands over to the left a little bit. Just to try to get my body weight a little bit over there. Just moving from the hips, letting the hips drive this motion. That concentric and eccentric use of the muscle, pushing us forward and bringing us back. Almost like we're catching ourselves and we're bouncing away. Stay with the deep breaths. Stay with the pressure. Number one priority is pressure. And let's take our non-loading leg. Internal rotation, let it rest behind. Awesome. We can have our hands down on the ground. We can bring one hand up to the chest, open up to the side, if that feels good. Head staying long. We can also always be in our elevated position. It's gonna turn it up just a little bit. And one thing to notice, I have this slight curvature in my back. That's totally okay. If we're rounded too much, it could be hard to access the glute. We also don't want to be back broken. We want somewhere in between. That's really nice. And 3, 2, and release nice and slowly. Phew. Shake out the hips, shake out the hips. A tip that I usually like to give people is try to avoid compressing the back to release the glutes or to relieve them. Try bringing the hips back. We want to get into the habit of bringing the hips back and down, having this be our home base. Thank you for joining me on this level 1 groundwork video. If you need any assistance or customization with any of these positions, please reach out to me personally. I would love to work on them with you to make them suit you best. My name is Coach Julian, and I look forward to seeing you on the next video.